Okay, I'm going to try to sleep a little bit more after animal communion. You people primate right beside me, right beside me. When there's all this room in the parking lot, right beside me, in and out, for a lot of the early hours of the night, for no apparent reason, and to go somewhere for 5 minutes and come back. It's ridiculous. It's so much room here to do that, as if they wouldn't be able to imagine maybe somebody sleeping in here. So I've been getting more angry in the last couple of days, and I talk about the Anthropocene, and it's not that that it's cold the last few nights, or that it's the climate is going to get worse and there'll be more hardships. It's really just mad, at the part of the Anthropocene that nobody wants to talk about our species and how dumb it is and how unable it is to reference the outside world. I'm telling somebody that's doing a night shift here, and it's really clear they can both rationalize why I'm upset, giving a complaint about this behavior right beside me, but they also think the person has the right to, park wherever they want. It's almost like generalizing, the 1 year anniversary of what happened in Ottawa. That people thought they're fighting for the freedom to not have to reference the outside world or be considerate to others. It's really proof of HSD on steroids, and it's a contradiction, and people just can't figure out that they're not making up their mind because they think everybody has a choice. Now, while I don't harm others, others might not be doing it on purpose when I express that they are, and they have, like 1,000 other choices that wouldn't, be inconsiderate to me. It's just that's what makes me mad. So I'm the only one talking about us as a failed species and the real state of the human condition, while more and more people will defend in stupid ways. For example, what politicians decide to alleviate the stress on their broken systems by allowing more drugs in society, or what Jordan Peterson says, which is contradiction of himself after contradiction of himself, and ego, and then him throwing the word around, and then other people throwing me the word narcissist, and then I challenge them to public debate, something that a narcissist wouldn't do, by the way, and not transparently, like they're doing it to me anonymously. And of course, it's going to be refused, and that's all I can do. It's just I can just maintain my sanity and watch. And this guy, what, has a BA in psychology, he says, as if, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, I must be at fault. No. Yeah, you want to say that? All right. Step up to the plate, dude. Here's my name. Here's my email. Let's have this Zoom. You show who you are for real, and I'll show who I am for real. We can talk about what narcissism is and how it's dangerous to throw that word around like Jordan Peterson is doing, without allowing anybody else to evaluate him, in a fair way, because that would hurt his image. Now, my image is not a mask. So yeah, bring it on. Bring on your public debates and your transparent interpretations of me in a transparent public forum. The thing is, people, is I know the difference between hope and fake or false hope. Hope comes from real behaviors. So when Jordan B. Peterson, and most people don't want to talk about the state of the human condition, how our species has failed, and they would state arguments how it's dangerous to do so. I would tell them, well, I believe that's reality, and you kind of know it is. I mean, otherwise you wouldn't be famous complaining about all these things. Then, why do you think it's okay to sell false hope? By saying, it's bad to talk about us and really believe in us because we're so great because we've done all these things, which again includes so many contradictions to what people say. Right now, I've been reading the beginning of a graphic novel, if you can call it that, the way it's drawn, uh, and, and it's about sapiens. And again, like every page or two, I could stop and say, wow, did you pick up this human chauvinism? Did you pick up the contradiction in the science, the way they use language in this way? Like, can you pick up how, like it says, we've caused all these things in our history, and yet we're the best species ever, like at the same time, in the same freaking page sometimes. And people can't see this, how insane they are in this way. And these are like your experts on our species. They're so freaking disconnected from who we really are, as if there's hope in that, or as if that's helpful in any way. It makes them so irresponsible to the concept of life, much less having kids or talking about whatever they think their specialty is. So the possibility of hope during the Anthropocene is possible, but it's not about avoiding conversation. It's not about being anonymous and criticizing others. It's not like Jordan B. Peterson and many others say. It's like almost treacherous to talk honestly about the human condition, because it'll only bring bad things. Well, no offense, but the opposite, what you're doing, is there's evidence that it brings bad things. We're in it. We're in this bad stuff where you guys all want to avoid reality and be in denial as your number one, as your intelligent people that you think you are, strategy for dealing with the Anthropocene that you're accelerating. No, show me hope, Jordan B. Peterson. Show me that you actually will start letting other people speak once in a while and see what you can learn from them. Same thing with anybody else. And that doesn't mean, that people's job is to prove you're wrong all the time. But man, what an irresponsible person you are, and you help create. So, hey, Joe Rogan, Jordan B. Peterson, let me know if you're considerate of others by, for example, showing me a video or data that you've compiled before you see me challenging you with this, where it shows that you have made efforts to tell some of your fans that write comments or click this button or click this button, which brings you profit, but you've kind of said, hey guys, do you mind not bullying each other, or do you mind acting better? Because that would give me hope. It would say, hey, Jordan B. Peterson or Joe Rogan are not fake hypocrites, because they actually know that with great power of fame comes great responsibilities. So they will sometimes do videos where they say, hey, I don't like the patterns that are being reported by the people I pay because I'm such a millionaire because of you fools now, about how you're talking to each other, or not learning, or not understanding what my point was, and bullying other people who also don't understand what my point was, and do it on my own freaking YouTube channel. So show me you're human in this way by providing me evidence, Joe Rogan or Jordan B. Peterson. And also just, film a video. Say, hey, it's not okay to keep calling people a narcissist, as a way to shut them down, when if you look at how to evaluate or assess for one, it turns out the person that said it first is the one that would qualify for that diagnosis. And if you don't think that's important to say, yes, I think probably you should not have a license to be a practicing psychologist. And you shouldn't brag if you have a bachelor's degree in psychology, if you don't get this basic, client-centered or responsibility-centered, a sense of awareness, to be able to reference the outside world and how your actions have an effect and an impact on others. I'm going to try and sleep a little bit now again. But I don't know if it's likely, because there's less and less people capable of being considerate of others. You know what I'm afraid? I'm afraid first Jordan B. Peterson's wife will die, which will send him even more nuts, which will send his kids even more nuts, because he's got patterns where they're protecting him because he makes a bad victim. Now, what if he dies then? Because I don't think I don't know how much stuff he's drinking that's not good for him, and I don't necessarily mean alcohol, maybe stuff with caffeine in it. And what if he dies? Because I think you think he's a dangerous guy. to become famous and share his messages, well, I'm worried now that his daughter will be like 10 times worse.